Hello and good morning. Today I'm going to read a very great or very popular publisher or author. His name is Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich. Right. So Napoleon had written this book, and many people have read this. Millions of copy has been sold worldwide, and that is very great story shared by Napoleon, or this is a best seller book. So if you read this, if you know all topic that inspire or that will inspire you too. So I want to go through chapter first and I want to interpret. I will be doing in English only, but it worth. So chapter one, introduction. The man who thought his way into partnership with Thomas A. Edison. This is a story in his first chapter. A man who thought his way into partnership with Thomas A. Edison. A simple man, a general man, not that educated, not that rich, or he had desire, he thought, he create wish to partnership with a great inventor, a great scientist, education person, Thomas A. Edison. We all know about that person. So that simple guy think to have partnership with that great Thomas A. Edison, right? And see what happens as per Napoleon. Truly thoughts are things. Truly thoughts are things and powerful things at that when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material object. They are talking about rich or burning desire. A little more than 30 years ago, Edwin C. Barnes discovered how true it is that men really do think and grow rich, right? That the story starts with a so-called name Edwin C. Barnes, who discovered how true it is that a man really do think and grow rich. So this is a story all about him, right? His discovery did not came about at one sitting. It came little by little, beginning with a burning desire to become a business associate of the great edition. So he said it doesn't happen at once, it takes time, or while taking time gradually it has happened, or that a person has thought to associate with Thomas A. Edison. One of the chief characteristics of Barnes' desire was that it was definite. He's saying that one of the best characteristics was of Barnes' desire that it was definite. He has decided to make that happen. He wanted to work with Edison, not for him. So his desire was to work with great person Thomas A. Edison, not for him. Observe carefully the description of how he went about translating his desire into reality, and you will have a better understanding of the 13 principles which leads to riches, right? When this desire of or impulse of thought first flashed into his mind, he was in no position to act upon it. Two difficulties stood in his way. He did not know Mr. Edison, and he did not have enough money to pay his railroad fare to Orange, New Jersey. It is being said that he has great desire only, right? But two things came in his mind. Two trouble, two difficulties occurs while he thought. The first difficulty was he did not know addition. He did not know addition. And second, he had not money to go at Edison house. He used to live at Orange, New Jersey. So these two difficulties he faced. These difficulties were sufficient to have discouraged the majority of men from making any attempt to carry out the desire. Now he is saying that these kinds of difficulties is enough for majority of people. They think to do anything but they defeat, they surrender. But he was no ordinary desire. He was so determined to find a way to carry out his desire that he finally decided to travel by blind baggage rather than be defeated. So he had no money, but he had desire to go work with Mr. Thomas A. Edison. Two difficulties he faced that stood in his way, but he did not, go back and sit. He decided to go. How did he do? Right. He did not have money, but he decided. So he went by freight train. Freight train means those train they carry goods. So that he had no money, he traveled by a good train that is called freight train. But he did not defeated himself. He did not lose himself. He presented himself at Mr. Edison laboratory and announced he had come to go into business with the inventor. See, there are two difficulties stood in his way. One, he did not know about Edison, or second, he has no money. But even though he did not think to go back because it was his dedication, his burning desire. So how did he go? He had no money, so he traveled by a good uh, train. They carry the goods, so that is called freight train. He reached, he presented himself at the laboratory of Edison. In speaking of the first meeting between Barnes and Edison, years later, Mr. Edison said, see what Mr. Edison said about that Barnes, a burning desire person. He said, he stood there before me, looking like an ordinary tramp. When he reached there at Edison Laboratory, that right, that's he said. Edison said he stood before me, looking like an ordinary tramp. He was looking a very simple, very loafer kinds, very ruffian kinds, uh, not sophisticated, not great person. But he stood before him. But there was something in the expression of his face which conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come after. But somehow Edison got, and Edison, what did he see in his appearance that he was looking like Tramp, a very ordinary person, but he had a strong desire in his appearance. What Edison revealed about him. I had learned from years of experience with men that when a man really desires a thing so deeply that he is willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel, in the order to get it, he is sure to win. He said, like when a person put all those things somewhere aside, only focusing on one thing, only one desire, he get it for sure. What Edison said. I gave him the opportunity he asked for because I saw he had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded. Subsequent events proved that no mistake was made. So Edison said, I gave him chance. I put him in my office, right? And because he is a determined person, he had decided to succeed in his life, and so that he gave that opportunity to him. This is what Edison said about that Barnes. Let's go ahead. Just what young Barnes said to Mr. Edison on that occasion was far less important than that which he thought. Edison himself said so. It could not have been the young man's appearance which got him his star in the Edison office, but that was definitely against him. It was what he thought that counted, right? Whatever appearance he has, whatever thought he has, it doesn't matter. Only his determined, his desire is counted. If the significance of this statement could be conveyed to every person who read it, there would be no need for reminder of his book, right? He's saying this significance, this importance, a statement could convey to every person who ever want to succeed in his life, who ever want to succeed, in their journey. If they learn these by that Barnes, they don't need to remind for anything. Barnes did not get his partnership with Edison on his first interview. He did get a chance to work in the Edison offices at a very nominal wage, doing work that was unimportant to Edison but most important to Barnes because it gave him an opportunity to display his merchandise where his intended partner could see it. Right. So he said like Barnes, he was desiring, he had wished to have partnership. He didn't get partnership with Edison, but Edison gave him chance to work, and he started working in his office. Months went by, time went. Apparently, nothing happened to bring the coveted goal which Barnes had set up in his mind as his desire, as his definite major purpose, right? So nothing happened. Obviously, it doesn't happen what had Barnes thought to do with him. Uh, but something important was happening in Barnes' mind. But that reality doesn't happen till the time. But something was happening. What it was, he was constantly intensifying his desire to become the business associate of Edison. Whatever had happened, whatever was going to happen, only he was intensifying his desire, making his desire a strong to become associate. Psychologists have correctly said that there is a statement of psychologists when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance, right? What psychologist said, worth repeating. When one is truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance, right? If anybody is ready for something, it comes in his appearance. So this is what that psychologist has said. Now comes to the topic. Barnes was ready for a business association with Edison. Moreover, he was determined to remain ready until he got that which he was seeking. He was super determined, right, to have partnership with him. And that is what he was seeking desirely. He did not say to himself, ah, well, that's the use. I guess I'll change my mind and try for a salesman job. But he did say, I came here to go into business with Edison and I'll accomplish this end if it takes the remainder of my life. He said whatever will happen, sometime he was getting his mind changed to do job as a salesperson for Edison. But anyway, again he was reminding in his mind that he will accomplish his desire to work as a business associate with Edison. He meant it. He meant it. What a different a story men would have to tell if only they would adopt a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession, right? He could have not done anything else apart that what he had thought, and that is why he had a obsession, a passion towards his target to become associate. Maybe young Barnes did not know it at the time, but this bulldog determination, his persistence in a standing back of a single desire, right? Even he was realizing or not, but he was super serious, right? Super persistent to, you know, stand back with the single desire that he had in his mind, right? Was destined to mow down all position and bring him the opportunity he was seeking. Each and everything he left, he sacrificed, he devoted to get that desire what he had thought. When the opportunity came, it appeared in a different form and from a different direction that Barn had accepted. See, now time had come, opportunity came, but it was not as it is what Barnes had thought, right? It came in another way. What he had expected, it was not in that form. Mr. Edison had just preferred a new office device. Sorry, the Mr. Edison had just perfected a new office device known at that time as the Edison detecting machine. So Mr. Edison invented some machine that he wanted to sell in market, right? And that is called Edison detecting machine. His salesmen were not enthusiastic over the machine, but when he made that, his salesperson was not excited, was not enthusiastic about that machine. Like the people will want, people will buy it. Can we sell that in market? They did not believe it could be sold without great effort. So their salesperson didn't think like it can be sold without a great attempt, a great effort. Barnes saw his opportunity. See that how that opportunity came. So those all person salesperson was in negative, but Barnes took that as an opportunity. It had crawled in quietly hidden in a queer looking machine which interested no one but Barnes and inventor. It was kinds of peculiar, awkward kinds of machine. Nobody got the reality, the vision, but who got it? Barnes and inventor both got it. Like it would work, people will like, we can sell that in market. Barnes knew he could sell the Edison detecting machine. Barnes knew he could sell the Edison detecting machine. He suggested this to Edison and promptly got his chance. So Barnes finally convinced to Edison and promptly he got that chance. Edison granted it. He did sell the machine. In fact, he sold it so successfully that Edison gave him a contract of distribute and market it all over the nation. Out of that business association grew the slogans made by Edison and installed by Barnes. See how turning points came in the Barnes life. How did that change? How the desire he had got by a small incident, by a small things, and that incident was the machine that was called Edison detecting machine. And what happened? Finally, Edison got agree with the Barnes statement he gave him to sell. He sold that in market, and he not sold. He sold very greatly because he put all his effort. And finally, Edison decided to give contract for that machine to the Barnes, or Barnes did it very greatly, right? And that business association grew the slogan. One slogan got associated with this in a machine. That slogan was made by Edison and installed by Barnes. See, the burning desire. Napoleon has wrote this book with the very great, a story, a real story that has happened. Next is the business alliances has been in operation for more than 30 years. Out of it, Barnes has made himself rich in money, but he has done something definitely greater. He has proved that one really may think and grow rich, right? So this was the a story of this book, how the a simple man Barnes, he thought to grow rich. He decided to grow rich. How he decided? He was a simple person, but he thought to have an association business partnership with a very great person, so called Edison, right? And finally, he got that opportunity. Two difficulties came in his life. Guys, see the great experience we should have by that book. Two difficulties came. First, he did not know about Edison deeply. Second, he has no money to go to his laboratory where he used to live. What did he do? He only intensified his desire. He staked all those his desire, only determined, only focus, only concentrate about his own wish to have a business association partnership with Edison. He did that. Or finally, the two difficulties that was standing in his way, one he did not know, second he had no money. What did he do? He went by a freight train, a goods train. There he did not need to pay money. He went by that Finally, he went to Edison laboratory, and when Edison met with him, he presented before Edison. He was a very ordinary person, a very simple person, not wearing any thing that seems like he's sophisticated, he's a great person. But Edison said about that event very greatly. When he saw the guy, he was ordinary, but he smelled something. He realized something by his appearance, by his mind, by his thought. And finally, he gave opportunity to him in his office. Even that opportunity that was not required in his office, that was not important for Edison, but because of his dedication, he gave that opportunity. And finally, he started working. Even after many days, he did not realize that he would do his target or not. But Barnes, one day, one opportunity came in the different way, and that opportunity was that Edison detecting machine that other salesperson denied. They did not put their enthusiastic nature. They were not curious like that machine will be sold in market, but that opportunity come for Barnes, and Barnes decided to do that, and finally he got contract and he become associate with the Edison. So very great and very true a story he had share, and we should have enlightened burning desire. Without burning desire, nothing is possible in life. So, to be very honest, we have such burning desire in our life if we want to get success in any stream, in anything that we want to have in our life. So, thanks. This Napoleon Hill books is really worth in our life. We have to learn many things by that, and that will help in our life journey.